Shavua Tov, Mishnah Yomi is in Bava, chapter 3, at the 11th and final Mishnah thereof, and then we'll be starting Bezrat Hashem, chapter 4. Shor Shahaya Rodef, Achar Shor Acher V'Huzak. Reuven's shore was chasing after Shimon's shore, and we don't know exactly what happened, but Shimon's shore shows up injured. Zeomer, so Shimon says, Shorcha Chizik, Reuven, that was your shore that hit my shore. He was chasing him. Zeomer, Reuven says, Loi, Chiela Basila Loka. Says, no, my shore didn't do that. Your shore tripped over the rock or bumped into a tree trying to escape. He hurt himself, in the process. So what's the din? Hamotzi mechavero alav haraya. The party seeking to extract damages from the other needs to bring evidence, needs to bring a proof that it was actually Reuven's shore that did the damage to Shimon's animal. Hayushnayim rodfim achar echad. What if there are two animals chasing one? These two animals have different owners. Ze omer shorcha hizik, v'ze omer shorcha hizik. So the owner of one of the chasers can say, hey, it was your animal that actually caused the damage at the end of the day. And the other one says, no, your animal did it. My animal's a nice guy. He would never hurt a fly. Shnehim paturim. Both of them are patur. Both of the owners of the chasing animals do not have to pay. Now, again, we don't have edus, we don't have testimony about the actual injury that later occurred. We just saw what transpired beforehand, and it was two oxen or two animals with separate owners chasing after someone else's animal. Im hayu shneim shel ish echad. If both of the chasers were owned by one man, shneim chayavim, they both have to pay. Now, really, they have to pay. One of them has to pay. One of the animals, we assume, did it, not both of them. But this is teaching us, the Gemara explains, that if one of them had a greater value, we're assuming they're both tam, but if one of them had greater value, the victim can't claim, it was the bigger one, the more expensive one that actually did the damage, because we don't know at the end of the day. Haya echad godol echad katan. Now, what if one of the animals was bigger and one was smaller? Hanizak omer, and the party that was damaged, his animal was hurt. He says godol hizik. It was the bigger animal that caused the damage. You understand this is to his advantage, because it's a shor tam, it's a tam animal, and he can only collect chatzi nezek up to the value of that animal that did the damage. So if it's a much more big and valuable animal, he can be compensated more and get back the damage that was caused to his animal. Hamazik Omer, the owner of the damaging animals, says, Loi, kielakoton hizik. It's that smaller animal. That one's more aggressive. He must have done it. And again, it's to his advantage. It limits his liability. His liability is up to the value of the damaging animal. Echad tam ve'echad muad. If one of the chasers was a tam and was not in the habit of being aggressive, the other one was muad. It was warned to be aggressive. Hanizak omer muad hizik. Now, the owner of the injured animal says it was the muad that did it. And of course, that makes sense logically. And if it was the muad, then he gets full damages, and they're not capped at the value of the damaging animal. Hamazik omer loy ki ela tam hizik. It's that tam. Sometimes they have a bad day too. And that would be to his advantage, because the damages would be chatzi nezik, and they'd be capped at the value of that animal. Hamotzi mechaver lavaraya. In these cases, again, you need to have some sort of proof to extract the greater amount of damages. Hayun nizokin shnaim. If there are two injured animals, echad godol, echad katan. One is bigger and one is smaller. Hamazikim shnaim. There are two injurers. So we saw two animals chasing another two animals, and then Nebuch, the two fleeing animals were damaged. Echad godol, echad katan, and the damagers also, one's bigger, one's smaller. Hanizak omer, so the owner of the injured animal says, godol hizik at the godol, the katan at the katan. Says the big animal hurt the big animal, the small one hurt the small one. It's to his advantage. He can collect compensation up to a greater amount for restitution. Amazik omer, the owner of the pursuing animal, says, Loi ki el katan at the gadol at the katan. He says, no, it was the other way around. The smaller animal hurt the bigger animal, and the bigger animal hurt the smaller animal. And this is shor tam. He's on the hook for chatzi nezek, but only up to the value, capped at the value of the damaging animal. Echad tam ve'echad muad. One of these chasers was tam, the other one was warned, was muad. Hanizak omer muad hizik at the gadol. He says, the shor muad, the warned animal, injured my larger animal, v'tamat kotan, and the unwarned animal injured the smaller victim. Hamazik omer loy ki el tamat gadol muad kotan. It was vice versa. Again, a motzi mechavero alav haraya. You have to bring some sort of proof to extract the greater amount of damages in all of these cases. Let's go on to chapter 4. Shor shenagach arba v'chamisha shvarim zeh achar zeh. An ox had a really bad day. Something happened to the office. It was just really wrong. And he attacked 4 or 5 other animals, one after another. Now, this is important because if he just hit one animal and then we came and warned his owner, and then that happened 3 times, then he's a shor muad. But here, it was like a rampage, and he hit 4 or 5 other animals before anyone could warn the owner of this damaging wild ox to keep his ox under control and make it into a shor hamuad. So it's a shor tam the whole time, but there are a lot of victims. So how do we compensate? So the Mishnah explains, Yeshalem le'acharun shebahem. He pays damages to the last victim. Ve'im yesh b'motor, and if there's leftover money after you've paid the chatzi nezek, the half damages to the last victim, yachzir shlefanov. Then the second to last victim, he could get compensated. In yesh b'motor, if there's leftovers after the second to last is compensated, yachzir shalifnei fanav. You can go to the third to last victim, the achron niskar. And regardless of how much money is left over, the very last victim is the one who benefits in the sense that he actually gets compensated as chatzi nezek without deducting for anyone else. Divri Rabbi Meir. This is according to Rabbi Meir, and the Gemara explains this is a case where each time the damaging, rampaging ox hit somebody, the owner of the victim grabbed the rampaging ox, to hold on to it to later get compensation, and then it struck again while the owner of the first victim was, trying to get it under control and trying to watch it and take possession of it. It injured somebody else's animal. So there's sort of a partnership of liability between the original owner and the owner of the first damaged animal at the time it damages the second animal, and so on and so on. So all of these people who were damaged first, they have some degree of partnership and culpability with the original owner, and that's why only the very last one sort of gets full damages, and whatever's left over goes to the previous damagees. Rabbi Shimon disagrees with Rabbi Meir. He says, Shor shavim matayim, shnaga shor shavim matayim. A $200 ox gores a $200 ox and kills it, ein avel yafe klum, and kicks the carcass off the cliff. You can't do anything with it. Zay no tel moneh, so the victim takes 100, because it's a shor tam, it was not warned yet. Zay no tel moneh, the owner keeps 100. Hazar nagach shor acher, it then goes and gores another ox shavim matayim, another ox worth 200, and again, there's no value in the carcass. Ha'achron no tel moneh, so then the second one takes half damages, the moneh, half of the damage of his dead ox, shelafonov, but the one who came before him, the first victim, Zaynotel Chamishim Zuz. He gets 50 in compensation, and the original owner gets 50. So at this point, the second victim gets paid 100, but the first victim now gets a deduction to 50, and the original owner holds on to 50. Hazar v'nagashur acher shavmatayim. Then it goes a third time and attacks another ox worth 200 and kills it. No value in the carcass. Ha'achro noto moneh. So the last victim should take 100. That's his chatzi nezek, his half damage for his ox. V'shalafonav chamishim zuz. The second victim then is left with 50 zuz because they've split it. V'shnayim rishonim dinar zachav. The two first guys, meaning the original owner and the first victim, they have to split the 50 zuz left over. They each get 25. They get a dinar zahav is worth 25 zuz. Shua tov, tizku the mitzvot.